Thanks for coming along and hearing about our boat story. I'm Mark. I'm the one in the white hat, and my wife Jillian and our dog Bailey. We bought this boat as we were expecting our first child and not wanting to spend another winter in the Pacific Northwest as we were waiting for that baby to come. We had been working really hard on our business and kind of felt it was time to step away and let the employees take the helm. And well, we took a helm on a different adventure. Here we are in the Exumas. We spent about half of the end for our first 9 months on the boat in the Bahamas, and the other half provisioning and upgrading the boat in the southern Florida. Jillian's inside right now, just kind of keeping watch. It was a colder day and a little north wind. One of the neat things about this boat is you can sail it both from inside or outside. There's an autopilot and a remote that allows you to stay indoors, and with the great 360 visibility of those windows, we had no problem being able to maneuver in any conditions. This boat is easily run by one. In fact, most of the time I did all the sailing, all the work, and Jillian just relaxed, which is good because she's pregnant at the time. With two people, it's a very, very, very manageable boat. You can easily handle anything that comes up. I would really be concerned about going above 42 feet or going above a sail plan bigger than what we have, and this is a pretty big sail plan in that two people is approximately what I think is safe to be able to handle if something was to go wrong. One of the things that we really valued that we didn't know to value early on was the ability to have the helm and the connectivity of everybody in one spot underneath that one bimini. A lot of the newer boats seem to separate out and make the helm in exposed areas where you're just getting beat up by the sun, and or you're separated closer to the edge of the boat, which is somewhat of a more dangerous position if the seas are rocky. We really felt that the setup and layout of this boat was not only safe but convenient, so that you can monitor what was happening in the cabin with ease. You always want to kind of keep an eye on people, and in case they were to slip and whatnot, your ability to hear and know what's going on inside was very easy to do with this boat being so interconnected. Typically we would be fishing, and man, we ate 4 out of 5 meals would be fish, and the only time we would stop eating fresh fish right out of the water would be because we were just sick of eating fish. We needed to eat a burger, pull something out of the freezer. This boat has a very generous deep freeze, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We normally be running 3 to 4 lines, and the nice thing about the way this boat's designed is that there's a walkway throughout 80% of the boat that makes it very easy to maneuver, whether you're chasing dock lines or chasing a wahoo. It is very good layout to be able to circumvent the outside edges of the boat in safety and comfort. The setup that you see on the left there is pretty typical. We'd have our paddle boards on top of the davit and our dinghy, which is an AB with an aluminum bottom. The AB with an aluminum bottom is really great. It's a lighter weight, more expensive dinghy. It came with the boat. We really didn't know how spoiled we were until we kind of compared the weight of other people's dinghies. With that little 6 horsepower engine, we were easily able to get on a plane. And one of the things that was also a spoiler for us was the amount of storage. This boat has a tremendous amount of storage. When we started getting ready to sell Pawsitvity, we were surprised how much stuff we had accumulated. Here's a parasailer, which again was a wonderful treat for us. The ability to sail directly downwind and also have a spinnaker that was basically set it and forget it is something I would never sail without, quite honestly. That sail stayed open, was able to decompress with gusts of wind, and was just an awesome mode to be able to get us where we wanted to go safely. A quick view of the mast there showed the radar and the radar deflector. That radar deflector is a wonderful radar deflector. We were able to hail people in VHF more than 5 miles out, and they said we were pinging on the radar with ease. Ground tackle includes a spade, Bruce, and a Danforth. I think the spade is a little bit undersized for the boat, but we just had let out a little bit of extra chain. This boat has a tremendous amount of chain, so it was never really an issue for us. There's generous bridles as well, 2 very stout built bridles in excellent condition to be able to set up the chain to keep the pull direction low. The props are folding brass pops, and I had heard that some the designs were a little bit sluggish to engage when you were changing directions. I never felt that there was any lag whatsoever on these props. Not only did they collapse and help us with our boat speed, they were very, very responsive when maneuvering and anchoring. Who knows, we would, in storage or passage conditions, put our paddle boards underneath the bimini there. To the port side, you'll see there's a grounding plate, and on our starboard side and forward here is our keel cooler. This is refrigeration by Frigaboat, and it is a keel-cooled heat exchanger for our freezer. And if you haven't had a chance to kind of look at that system, it is an amazing 12-volt system that basically allows us to use the coolness of the water to boost the cooling power of the freezer. Along with our 12-volt Spectra water maker, I mean, with our solar panels and a good sun, not only we could power all electronics and the autopilot, but we could make water and keep our refrigeration going no problem all day long. Never felt like during daylight hours did we ever have any shortage of energy. And the autopilot was really fantastic. It allowed us the freedom to be able to go and enjoy the other excitement that happens on the boat, like the dolphins here, with our remote control. The autopilot was upgraded with the newer pump that controls the hydraulics, that is more robust and quieter. So that was a really, really cool thing. Inside is American white oak, and you'll notice that there's a forward mast designed. The mast is forward, which is really ahead of its time for this boat. It reduces hobby horsing. You'll see a lot on the newer boats is that they're moving the mast forward. It provides a bigger sail on your main, a little bit more power for going upwind, and also gives for an easier ride. Not only that, the other thing that we really, really enjoyed was the cabin forward, so that the cabin extends past the mast. Not only gives us a cabin that feels like a 50-foot boat, but also an aft section underneath the outside that is also very spacious. So we have a 42-foot cost of dockage and cost of running costs, but it feels more like a 50-foot boat, and that was really, really cool. Boat's equipped with an SSB that is attached to the rigging, which allowed us to ping Texas without issue and be able to get weather without issue. We added an inverter, which is an auto kick-on, and has, again, a Spectra 12-volt water maker. VHF extended all the way to the top of the mast, provided an excellent range. I think we would be able to hail people from more than 5 miles out without issue. Right there to the left on that open seating section is where that deep freeze is, and that is a pretty generous deep freeze powered by Frigaboat. In the aft port cabin is where we have a generator. This generator is sized for an air conditioning, although a built-in air conditioning was never installed on the boat. We felt this boat ventilated so well that I don't think there's a reason to have it unless you're spending a lot of time on dock. The aft section of that bed has the Volvo D40 access, and in this closet behind there is the access to the electronics. The electronic access behind the helm station is actually pretty generous. I'm 5'9.5". I can stand up there with ease to be able to add a new component or check existing wiring. Very, very good, tidy work area in that area. In the guest cabin on the port side, but forward of that is the bathroom in between the two bedrooms, and that has a shower. The head in that bathroom is saltwater flush. We converted the master over to freshwater flush. Obviously, smells were a very sensitive topic to a pregnant lady, so we did everything in our power to make sure that the boat was as fresh and appealing from an odor standpoint as possible. The ports all have ocean air blinds. If you're not familiar with ocean air, it's a really cool design. On one side, they pull and have a bug screen, and on the other side they have a blackout. Really, really high quality blinds. Excellent feature of the boat. We kept storage in the forward cabin here. This was for the most part our garage. Underneath that double bed is a tremendous amount of parts and storage. We have, I think, probably about 8 to 10 large tubs full of parts and storage. You'll see there's 2 dehumidifiers next to the washing machine. This is a really, really big washing machine. before I go on, we always kept the boat when we weren't on it dehumidified. We keep 2 dehumidifiers going just in case one stopped working. The other one would kick in and keep the boat nice and dry. Mold is a very sensitive thing for my wife, so we absolutely took every means to keep this boat as fresh and clean as possible. This is a really neat, where I'm standing right now in the companionway between the master bedroom and the forward cabin is really cool in that we could actually hang our laundry, so we could do our laundry at night with the generator with about 1 hour, make water at the same time, and then hang it up in that companionway, and in the morning it'd be dry. This is a king size bed, a couple inches off by dimension, but otherwise a king size bed, very rare to find in catamarans. And one of the neat things about the layout of the master cabin is that the bed has those windows that allow you to look out into the ocean, roll over in the morning and be able to see the water. It was really, really cool. The emergency escape hatches provided ventilation when it was raining outside, so you can still get some fresh air in the boat. And here we are again, getting ready to go into the bathroom. That washing machine is plumbed so that you can actually recycle the water if you so choose to be able to wash outside, or use it for flushing the toilets or anything else that you would want to have extra soapy water for. The master bath has easily room for 2 people to brush teeth and do your business and in comfort. The forward shower has a really generous layout, such that we always felt like at the end of the day one of the neatest things to do was to come in and take a nice hot shower, which was done in 2 ways. Either the 120 generator would power the hot water heater, or there is a heat exchanger in the hot water heater as well that would recycle the exhaust, just plumbed through it. Obviously didn't create an odor, but would take the heat from the exhaust from the port engine and heat the water. So even 10 minutes of using the motor to set up the anchor would be more than enough to be able to boost and have nice hot water for a shower at the end of the day. Quite a luxury. And as we're kind of coming to the end of our interior tour, here's a shot of the forward lockers. We would typically keep our rain enclosure up here, along with extra pool toys and whatnot, paper towels, other areas. The high bow line of this boat was the last kind of closing feature, which we thought was just absolutely fantastic. Never once did we dunk the boat. Never once were we concerned about water coming over the top. We talked to a lot of other cruisers who told us nightmare stories about how they took waves over their catamaran and broke seats, broke gear, and broke masts. I mean, just there's a lot to be said about the high bow line, and that being a safety feature that people might not be aware of. I know if we ever get another boat, that will be a feature that we won't ever consider going without. And as you see that little girl waving at us goodbye as we finish our video, she's now 4 years old. That was the little girl in mommy's tummy in the beginning. We're still loving getting to come down and enjoy this boat. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience, and we hope the next owner will have as much pleasure and joy out of it that we have had. Thank you so much for watching.